everybody. It's Wednesday. Who knew? Not me. Not me until 2 minutes ago. But I'm here. And you're here. And that's all that matters. Are we 10 minutes late? Maybe. It's fine. Hello. I'm Bug. I'm in a band called Bug Hunter. I was doing something else. And then I was like, oh shoot. It's Wednesday. And I was like, well, it's probably like 10 o'clock by now. And I just missed my stream. But then I looked at the time and it was 8:05. So I was like, well, that's close enough that I can still do it. So here I am. I am the Narcissist Cookbook's friend. Yes, thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. I was talking to Matt. That's what I was doing instead of streaming. I was having a good old discussion with my good friend Matt in the Narcissist Cookbook because we were discussing some logistics and details around our new podcast that we are launching in 5 days and ironing out some details. So we'll talk more about that in a bit. Why don't I play a song so that people will stay and listen. What do you want to hear? I'm up for anything. It's been a month since the new album's been out, so y'all can feel free to ask for whatever you want. We got different people saying different things. I got 3 people saying they want this song. Hey! We have invented an invention. You know duct tape? It's not like that. We have created a creation. You know cupcakes? It's not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can press. And when you press it, you'll be happy with no harmful side effects. Okay, our legal team's informed us we must warn you of the button side effects. Okay. You know that feeling when you had something to say and then forgot? This is not like that. You know that stress you get when you commit a crime and then get caught? This is not like that. It's just a button, just a simple little button you can hit. It makes you happier for 4 to 7 hours, all depending on your blood type. Also, someone random on the planet dies. It probably won't be someone you know. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling machine, side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. We have revised a new revision. We got your feedback, you did not like that. We have modified the button. Now instead of someone dying, they will simply lose their balance as they're walking down the stairs. It's not your fault if they don't hold the rail. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling machine, side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. Not like that. This is our final offer. Our engineers have done their best. They've made the button softer, so it's more comfortable to press. You'll get 1 hour of joy, but then the button will make a college student oversleep their last exam, and a small business owner lose an envelope of cash, and a puppy will be told he's a bad dog when he didn't do anything wrong. You're gonna love this new thing, this happy feeling machine, side effects and strings attached. I want this, but not like that. I wanna love this new thing. I'd kill for something to bring happiness without a catch. I want this, but not like that. Mars with the perfect timing on that one. Thanks, everybody. That's a song that my friend Matt really likes. And I do album title drop in that song, which always feels fun. So here's what we do at the Bug Stream. We chit chat, and y'all can ask me questions, and I tell you what's going on in my world. And Papa Bug's not here because Papa Bug's on a fishing trip. Sorry. I wish Papa Bug was here, but so let's do some questions. Cool. Oh wait, I forgot to say, hey, who's here? I was so flustered by remembering that it was Wednesday. So we got Mars is here, David Toe is here, the biggest of men is leaving, Post Bunny is here, Iberno is here, Miles Bates, Spooky Parker, Luciano is here, Cornfield Cryptid, hey Blair, Gerby's here, Captain Barra, we got Tyler Young, Izer, Grace Arabella, the Narcissist Cookbook. It's pretty cool. I got a celebrity in my stream. It's pretty rad. Pop the Dragon. And I think that is about it. Chaotic Good is here. Bartolomeow is here. Gay Velma's here. Poppy's here. Cool. Lance Fischel, the mint-obsessed horse. Cool. Now that I've said who's here, we can all do questions. So yeah, I'll do a little cozy Q&A. Grace wants to know, I get to play my first big show next month. Any tips? Well, depends on what you mean. Are you playing your first show or your first big show? And what do you consider to be a big show? Because there's been various points in my career where I've said, I'm about to play my first big show. The first time I said it, there's 15 people there. But it was a show, and there was a poster, and people had to pay $7 to get in. And it was different from an open mic. But then I also said the same thing when we went to Seattle earlier this year, and we played at the Nectar Lounge, and there was 350 plus people there. And I was like, this is about to be my first big show. So maybe it depends a little bit on what you mean by getting to play your first big show. But my advice for anybody playing any type of show, I started that sentence like I actually had something to say. I don't have any advice. I don't know. Why did I think that I was going to come up with some advice by the end of that preamble? I don't know. Know your songs. Yeah, know your songs. I don't know. I personally, and I run the risk of offending somebody with this statement, I personally don't love seeing performers who are singing the lyrics off of like an iPad in front of them. It creates a better, more professional, engaging show if you have memorized the lyrics to your songs. If you had planned on doing that, I apologize, because I'm sure it will be great. It's just a personal thing. So some advice that would make me, not everybody, but just me, a little more engaged with the show is if you are performing rather than reciting off of an iPad. Tyler Young says, whoa, 350, that's like 10 times bigger than the show I went to last year. Yeah. We're growing. It's great. Yeah, we've played a variety of shows this year, and even coming up we have I leave for Scotland in 5 days to do the UK tour, and there are shows that are, I think the smallest one is about 50 people, and the largest one is about 200-ish in London. Yeah, we do, it depends on the city. It's never really about like, at this point, like, oh, how popular are we? You just don't get the same numbers everywhere. Bigger city, more people. Smaller city, smaller people. Omaha this year, 60 people, and that was 4 months after the 360 in Seattle. So yeah, there's definitely a max and min just depending on the population of the city that we're playing in. So yeah, so Toronto was 80 people, and David brings us up. David was at that Toronto show at the time, March 17th of this year. It was the largest show we had ever played. I had ever played. It was just me. It was about 90 people. Biggest show I'd ever done. 90 people there paid to see Bug Hunter. And it is in I think the bottom 5 for what we've done this year. I think Omaha was smaller. Phoenix was 86. Las Vegas was something like 45. But then everything else, our average this year has been closer to 200. I think 190 something. So, Joe Kirkbride's coming to the London show with their brother. Cool. So is Captain Barra, but not with Joe's brother. Just very excited for the London show. Grace says, thanks for the advice. You're welcome. I don't know if it was helpful. First non-open mic. Cool. It's a very exciting time. Congrats on getting your first big show. That is, I remember, on one hand, I had a show that wasn't an open mic, but it was at a youth center. I was 22 at the time. I was too old to be playing a youth center. And it was really just kind of people, my Ladybug was there, and my friend Ian was there, and maybe a couple, my roommate at the time. There was only a few people there. I did that show. I did play. I don't know if y'all know the artist Left at London, but they're also kind of gotten a bit of a following over the last couple years, and we both played that show when we were both just open mics around Seattle, recording things and throwing them on SoundCloud. And then several years later, I just saw a tweet, and I was like, I know this person, and it was Left at London, and looks like they're actually got a pretty good following, which is cool. Never been in contact with them since that very first show I ever played, but I was happy to see that. So. I'm avoiding a clock question, and I did not realize I was avoiding a clock question because I sometimes don't read the questions after I pick one and then I start talking. What is the clock question that it's not working? Yeah, I just need a battery. It's a very simple thing to do and fix. It should be so easy. It's for new musicians. This club started a new program, and I'm closing the first event. Cool, that's rad. The first full band show that I did, I will never forget it. It's the first time I played with a backing band that had a guitarist and a drummer at the Sunset in Seattle, Washington, and we debuted for the very first time ever. We debuted a song called "Go with the Flow," "Point to Prove," "Piano Teacher," "Boogie Pete," "Baby Teeth." I think all 5 of those songs were the first time I had ever played them live. And it went super well, and it led to an album called The Rough Draft about 8 months later. So. Please fix the clock. It deserves better than this. You're right, because it's so cool. It's so cool because it runs backwards, and people who haven't been to my streams don't even know that it runs backwards, which is a cool thing to have in the background. It's the whole reason I put it in the background. It's because it's a cool clock that spins in reverse, and I don't have a battery in it. Sorry. Post Buddy says, you said it was a secret code when you replied to a comment about it. Yes. That is something that I would say. Could you make the clock not tick? Is that possible? Like turn but not tick? Yeah, I'll put a silencer on the gears. I think it's a mechanical click. I don't think it's like playing the click through a speaker. Yeah. But maybe it does. Maybe clocks haven't needed to tick in like decades, but it's like how they make shampoo like lather, even though it doesn't really have to, but people expect it to lather, so they'll like put an extra thing in it to make it like soap up. Maybe that's what they're doing with clocks, and they just put a little speaker in there, a little Hallmark card like speaker, and they put in the clock and just make it tick. And you can just go in there and turn it off. Who knows? Lala got the Kickstarter stuff today. That's awesome. Yeah, I have. If you have given me your address, except for like 3 people, and if you're not international and have a happiness vinyl, I've sent your Kickstarter stuff out. So. Currently, the clock is worthless junk. When I put a battery in it, it will be twice as good as worthless junk. David is international with a happiness vinyl, and that is sad. Sorry, David. You are one of 19 people that just has to wait because shipping is too expensive. So, things going on in my world. I have been singularly focused on 2 things, which is a dumb sentence. Tour, starting in 5 days, and a new podcast that Matt and I are launching on Monday, the same day that I arrive in Scotland. So me and Matt are actually going to be, we'll actually be in the same room when the podcast debuts. And I'll be watching the data, and Matt will not be. Will the tour go to Utah? The tour went to Utah. We hit Provo in April. I'm sorry that you missed it, but we'll be back. Maybe next year. But no, this one is UK. It's UK plus Dublin plus Berlin. But back to the podcast. How often will you have the podcast? It is going to be every 2 weeks. So starting Monday the 23rd, the next episode should be 2 weeks after that. So what is that going to be? That's going to be November 6th. Because that's the day that I fly back to America. We've recorded 4 episodes so far. The format of the podcast is Matt and I, we get together over Zoom, and we challenge each other with creative songwriting challenges that we don't we come up with them. They're not like ones from the internet. We specially brainstorm and come up with challenges for each other, and then we take a 3-minute break, a 3-minute break. It's a very bad song. We take a 3-hour break that we don't record, and then we work on our songs for 3 hours, and then we come back and we show each other what we wrote, and talk about what happened, why it's good, why it's bad, what we change, the things that we would keep, even if we would scrap the rest of it. It's very good. It's a very good podcast. I don't want to get your expectations too high, but get hyped out of your mind, because if you like Book Hunter Narcissist Cookbook, you're basically like, it's not songs. It's not songs in the sense that it's not like we write songs in 3 hours and record them, and they're like sound super well produced and ready to go on Spotify. They're demos, but if you're just looking for what we can do in 3 hours, I can't speak for myself because it would be egotistical. But what Matt is able to output in 3 hours is ridiculously impressive, frustratingly impressive, and has forced me to up my game. And Matt, if you're still here, you feel free to just hop in here and just say the same thing about me. And it's all condensed down into a 30-minute podcast, except the first episode, which is 38 minutes, because we kind of introduce ourselves a little bit more, and we talk about what the format of the podcast is going to be in a little more detail. The other episodes were just like, hey, we challenged each other to write some songs. Here we go. Y'all ready? And then we just kind of do it. The first one, we kind of talk a little bit more about the format, so it's a little bit longer. After I've now edited 4 episodes, if I listened to the first one yesterday and I was like, I could edit this down to 30 minutes now. I could easily. My editing chainsaw is all revved up now, and I'm better at it. But we're keeping the first one at 38 minutes, just because, I don't know, it's too much work. Oh, Matt is still here. I was joking about that. I figured Matt had wandered off. I wasn't actually prompting you to say that. What is the fastest song you've written from draft to vaguely finished version? So yeah, that's a great question. So this podcast, like I said, it's 3 hours. We go from like an idea to a demo in 3 hours. What we say is it's 3 to 6 hours, and we check in at 3 hours. And if we're good to go, we'll just go. But if something comes up, I think neither of us want to work on the song for 6 hours. I think it's more of a, hey, I needed to go get lunch for an hour, and so can we have 4 hours? So like the working time is basically 3 hours in a 6 hour window. But normally we just get like excited and just buckle down and do it. I think the longest we took was 3.5 on one of the episodes so far. But if there was a Bug Hunter song that had started this way, say I was given a challenge and I wrote a Bug Hunter song, what song would be like the closest to what it actually is, based on like the first 3 hours of work? I would say the closest, gosh, Go With The Flow is pretty close. I've changed very little about that song after the first 3 hours of working on it. Take It Back is also, I think, not too crazy dissimilar from the first 3 hours of work on it. Obviously, like the production of it, like, you know, you gotta account for, you know, the cello and the harmonies and the drums and everything, but like the actual song, you know, Take It Back is very, very similar to the first 3 hours of work. Any other ones that are actually really close? Thinking of Happiness Without a Catch, if any of those are at all similar. Shocking Plot Twist, no. I changed the whole third verse of Shocking Plot Twist, so that probably doesn't count. And I added the Unexpected Rex bits long afterwards, so... Two Bed, Two Bath, and a Ghost, everything except for the bridge where I name all the other ghosts in the song, that I added the next day. But the first 3 hours is basically that whole song except for just that part. How long did Safe Word take you? Safe Word, I don't remember, but I do know that it wasn't 3 hours because the bridge of that song gave me so many issues. There was an old bridge that was fine, and then there was a new bridge that was just me. So it's the part the chords work, the beat works, the verse and melody works. That part. Originally, I had a version of it where I was just saying silly safe words, just like what would be silly safe words if people were to have safe words that were kind of silly, and that didn't work at all. And I worked on the bridge for so long that I ended up adding a very meta joke to the song about how it's kind of this construction motif that I had, where I say, now the only thing that needs work is the last bit of the bridge. I think I'm smiling and nodding. So as a joke to myself about how the only part of Safe Word that was not done was the bridge. And that's how I ended the bridge. So, what is the longest song to write in sheer work hours as opposed to just started then put on hold for years? That's great. The one that would probably like just time from the first day I wrote it to the day it was released is probably Waving Goodbye, because that one's sitting at like 7 years. 30 Plan probably gets close. I think I wrote that in 2016. That's actually 2016 to 2023. 30 Plan is probably pretty close as well. But for like time spent on song, I don't know that any song has had more lyrical revises than Disco in the Panic Room. From being like a song with lyrics that were completely scrapped, except for the first line was always there. That was the impetus for the song. I got skills, they don't know where to use me. I'm like the best dressed dude at the nude beach. So that was always a constant. And then I wrote 3 full songs off of that I ended up scrapping. Then finally coming up with the verses that y'all know, and then recording that version with a different chorus, and then coming back and re-recording a new chorus at the last second. So I got Skittles, they don't know where to use me. I always said that would be my rapper name. If I was a rapper, I'd be called Lil Skittle. Max Size wants to know, is Harrison the same as the tragic backstories from fan fiction? Maybe. Pretty compelling argument to be made. Cornfield Cryptid wants to know, unrelated to the podcast, but about what percentage of your song ideas actually make it to discography? Good question. It has the percentage has increased as I've grown as a songwriter. Surge of Confidence was about 100 songs, pared down to 11. Torn Between a Couple was about 34 songs down to 11. Rough Draft was about 19 songs down to 11. Bigger Than Myself was 12 songs down to 11. And then Happiness Without a Catch was probably like, I don't know. Once I determined what happiness was going to be about, it was kind of like 12 songs down to 11. But while I was still just kind of writing, and the fourth album was very nebulous as to what it was going to be, it was probably close to like 20. I probably have about nine other songs that I've written that I haven't released. So. What was the cut song for Bigger Than Myself? Great question. It was a song called Platonic Best Friend. Platonic Best Friend was supposed to be the second bonus track on Bigger Than Myself, and I ended up writing a song called Magic 8 for my wedding, and I wasn't done with Platonic Best Friend because it wasn't in the state that it's in now. The bridge was a little different, and the second verse was very different. It didn't have the 2 P's and applause line, which is one of my favorite lines in the entire album. And so I was like, I need to work on Platonic Best Friend a little longer. So Magic 8 is done. So I'm going to put this on Bigger Than Myself. So, yeah. Thank you to my mods for laughing at my stupid joke. Andrew wants to know, because I'm from Seattle, do you have any opinions on the sitcom Frasier? I've never seen it. Time of Sun wants to know, do you know any other languages, and can you sing in those languages? I took 4 years of Spanish in... no, that's not true. Hold on. Yes, it is true. 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. And I have retained almost none of it. So, no. Though, I did use some... Italian words on one of the episodes of the podcast. So, but I don't know how to speak Italian. That was a Google Translate thing. Sock Sockerson says, I really like your hat. Thank you. It's got a puppy dog on it. My wife gave it to me. It's a great hat. Time of Some wants me to start a beef. What's one popular artist that is famous now that you're not a fan of? I have answers to that, but as my popularity grows, I genuinely have the capacity to meet some of these people, so I'm not going to start shit on my YouTube stream for the entertainment of 38 people. I think I've said before that, and this isn't really a criticism, but I wasn't really into Taylor Swift after whatever came after 1989. I've had a hard time getting into it, but I think she's a fantastic songwriter. So if I'm gonna have a controversial opinion, I just think I didn't resonate with the whole snake anger thing that Taylor's started, and I think if there was a reason for it and there's people who kind of resonated with that message, I think that's fine. But for me, I was like, I don't like it. So you have an opportunity to meet Taylor. No, that's why I feel safe saying that one. No matter how big I get, probably not gonna happen. Just watch. I'm gonna end up she'll hear Too Bad Than a Ghost and be like, I love this guy, have him come up for me, and then I'll feel really bad about that. I think she's a great songwriter. It's like recognizing that Metallica, it's a band I don't listen to. They're great. Their songs are great for what they do. It's metal. It's but I just don't like it. They're not bad at it. It's not my taste, and that's all I'm kind of trying to say about kind of the tone shift that Taylor Swift took after 1989. I did like You Need to Calm Down. Great song. Love that song. Fantastic. So there's been moments that I've enjoyed, but for the most part. Yeah. So if in the future anybody's coming back to this video and they're like, oh, Bug was dissing Taylor Swift, just clarifying, I think she's immensely talented. Nothing but respect for her songwriting abilities. She just made a couple albums that weren't my taste, and I think that is true of people in my fan base about my own music. I've seen comments about my own albums where people are like, I love the Rough Draft. I wasn't too big on Bigger Than Myself. That's fine. I think if you are someone who relates more to just hey, I'm insecure about me and myself, and I'm kind of figuring out things in my life, and I have a handsome older brother, and what am I doing? If that message resonates with you, and the messages in Bigger Than Myself is not something that you've kind of personally had any type of relation to, I could see why that album wouldn't hit you in the way that it hits me and a lot of other people. So Mars says Bug Hunter fell off after Surge of Confidence, and if I had one of my hands free, I would remove Mars's mod powers. Yeah, Sassy Spoon says she's got a lot of very different songs, perfectly valid to not like some of her albums. Yeah, and that's how I approach my albums and my songs too. It's like, all right, what? Okay, you don't like my song about a ghost. Fine. Here's a song about a lady on a plane. Okay, you don't like ladies on planes? Fine. All right. Here's oh shoot, I only have songs about ghosts and ladies on planes. Here's Boogie Pete. This is a song about my brother's friend. You like this one? Doesn't matter. My feelings don't get hurt. People don't like my songs. I got too many. It's fine. What are the odds that anyone's gonna like all of them? Yeah, even my bandmates don't like all of them. Favorite album of all time where you dig every song. The first one that came to mind was either the second. Well, I can't remember the name. The second My Chemical Romance album. Was it Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, and the Black Parade. Both of those albums are probably like that for me. James wants to know what songs the bandmates don't like. Kyle doesn't like Dear McCracken, Jesse. I think Kyle's come around on Dear McCracken. He didn't like it at first. Jesse is always very neutral. He's very tactful about his opinions about my songs. He did say that he thinks Happiness is our best album. But yeah, any other albums where I dig every song? I don't even think about my own albums. I'm trying to think if there's albums that I actually like 10 out of 10 every song. Those two My Chemical Romance albums are probably up there. I'm trying to remember what music I like. I can't remember anymore. I've stopped listening to music. Probably not Metallica, Raw. Bug, what's something people don't know about you that you've wanted to talk about? I have had every opportunity in the world to talk about myself at length in so many different formats and venues. It's very, very hard to think of anything that I haven't decided, yeah, sure, might as well talk about that. Yeah, I don't know. I talk about my board games a lot. This new podcast, love talking about that. I don't know. Don't know about me. Y'all know everything about me. I got nothing left. Just write some songs. Hope you like it. Yeah, and you get on YouTube stream 2 hours a week for 2 years. You tend to run out of things to say. Luciano says, I like the song about 2 hungry bears. Me too. I like that song too. Has Boogie Pete ever heard a song? Yeah. He played it at his wedding reception, which I think is very funny. Have you named your guitar a neat name? It's sweet to see the personal connection people have with their instruments. Nope. This is just a guitar. I don't. No names. This is just this is the guitar that goes on that hook right there. I have another good. I think I lost a guitar. I have another guitar. I don't know where it is. It's either in Nashville at my parents' house, or it's lost, or I forgot it somewhere. Because I know I have another guitar that's very similar to this one, and for the life of me, because I can't see it in this room, I'm like, where would it be? So I'm hoping that I just accidentally left it at my parents' house from the last tour. Because I brought it on tour because Jesse played it for Dear McCracken during the shows, but now I don't remember. You know what? We went back to Nashville halfway through the tour, and then Jesse left. So I probably was like, oh, I don't need to bring this guitar for the rest of the tour, so I'm going to put it upstairs. And then when we got back from the tour 2 weeks later, that had completely, yeah, that's probably where it is. It's probably in Nashville. Yeah, if you could gain the power to instantly master any instrument other than guitar, yeah, been there, done that. I'm a master at this thing. I know this thing back and forth. I can make this thing sing. I don't just know the basic major and minor chords and have built a music career out of just that. When I finger pick, it's not just two strings and 5 notes. I'm a master at this. So if I could master another instrument, it would be this. I'd love to be able to perform piano. I can play it. I know where all the notes are, and I know to do the basic chords, but I can't perform it yet. I'm not there. I used to be working at it a lot more, and now this thing has just been collecting dust for basically this entire year. I feel pretty bad about that, but I've been busy. Not too busy to practice, but busy. It's good scene decoration for my streams. It does, when I record things like MIDI stuff, it's nice to just have it here. So if I need to just like get like a synth sound, like a, you know, just like a, oh, I need a C, I hit it. It's like plugged into my computer and all that. So why are we talking about Baldur's Gate? Did someone mention it, or are you just assuming that that's why I'm not playing piano? Because that's probably it. Cool. Why don't I play another song? Y'all asked a lot of really. Oh God, it's almost 9 o'clock. Oh yeah, I started late. I was like, how did I talk for so long? Let me do a song. What do you want to hear? Throw it out. Play You Don't. If I can figure out the solo, I'll do it. Hold on, I think I got it. This is an old song. Carve down the edges and it's smooth. Polished lacquer stain the wood, then burn your work. It's gone and you refuse to let it live. To live is to commit, and rumor goes you never did. So harden up the blisters on your hands and leave them on the closest thing before you let them idle circumstances lead a chance. And Santa's tend to snap, so we clear out and we stay back. But you don't, and it hurts. You don't, you just walk right up and bear first, and hopefully you'll change, 'cause well, our begging goes That's a song called You Don't, and I only sort of kind of messed it up. I remember most of the solo. I just played it. I remembered it. I just played it wrong. Thanks, folks. Cool. Do we want to end it there? Yeah. That's a song called You Don't. It's off an album called Surge of Confidence. It's from before Bug Hunter. So when I was just Bug. It's an old album. If you don't know about it, surprise, you have a whole album of early Bug Hunter stuff to listen to. It's on Spotify. It's just under a different artist name. And anyways, Headlights is on that album, and I later rewrote it and put it on Bigger Than Myself. So yeah, chords for it, it's E and C and G and D, and then a bunch of weird stuff that I don't know. I wrote it a long time ago. Anyways, yeah, it's a cool song. I'm better at playing it now than I was back then. Yeah, appreciate y'all. I don't know for a fact if I'm going to see y'all again before I go on tour, because I leave Sunday, so it'll just kind of depend on how I'm feeling that day. If I have a lot to do, I may not hop on the stream, but if I plan ahead and actually get packed, then I'll hop on. But this might be goodbye. If you don't normally watch on Sundays, this is goodbye anyway. I'm gonna be gone for a little bit. Gotta go play shows in front of real people. I'm excited. We're gonna be in the UK. We're starting in Dublin on October 26th. We have a Halloween show in Berlin, and then in between, yeah, we'll be in Liverpool, Manchester, Cardiff, London, Southampton, Newcastle, and Edinburgh. So it's me and the Narcissist Cookbook. I'm very excited to see Matt again. We see each other once a week on Zoom, but it'll be cool to hang out in person again. You can buy tickets on our website, bughunterbug.com. And let me check to see if we have the postcard of the day, if that is actually still available. I do a postcard every day that is only sold that day, and once it's gone, and it is gone. So sorry about that. Maybe tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be, I can tell you, today's was Baby Teeth. Tomorrow's is, it's Making Up Words. Plagiarize the chorus from the beating of my chest. Take my inspiration from the cadence of my breath. So, Making Up Words, famously, doesn't sell very well for postcard of the day. So we'll see if it sells tomorrow. We'll see. Cool. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming and hanging out on a Wednesday night. Sorry I started this a little bit late. I just forgot that it was Wednesday. Hopefully I'll see some of you on Sunday if I'm able to stream. Otherwise, hop into our Discord, and hey goobers, go to bed.